Welcome to Feast On, a brand new food festival in Bristol and one that I hope comes back annually. It is an incredibly unique one in that a lot of the vendors here don't actually hold pop-ups typically, but are some of Bristol's best restaurants giving their take on street food. You heard that right. Regardless of whenever you're watching this video, if you see somewhere you like the look of, check out my links in the description below. A lot of these vendors also have permanent bases and are taking this opportunity to break into the street food scene. With a mixture of brand new spots that have never taken on the street food challenge before, as well as experienced vendors, let's see what this brand new food festival has in store for us. If you enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. I post videos about food on a regular basis where I show some of my favorite things to eat that you won't want to miss. In this video, we're going to start off with the savouries, including my top recommendations before finishing off with the sweets. First up is Dead Wingers, which does have a permanent base as well. Their menu was super exciting and we actually went with 3 of their items. We had to go with their chicken wings, which is what they're known for, which is smothered in a sweet and tangy classic American style barbecue sauce and sprinkled over with what they actually call crack dust on their menu, but my guess is that it's a bit of garlic powder or onion powder or some other type of seasoning in that category. The wings were super well fried and very crispy. We also had their hot chicken burger, which had fried chicken, a slice of American-style cheese, a small amount of blue cheese sauce, and pickles. This was a definite winner for me. They once again showcased how they knew how to fry chicken. Skin was still on as well, which is a huge winner, especially if you love crispy fried chicken skin, a very light batter, and a spicy buffalo sauce that is well balanced with the cheese. Finally, we couldn't resist hash browns with soured cream and caviar. Well-fried hash browns that always goes well with sour cream. If you've never had caviar before, it's basically just slightly salty, so you can think of it as extra seasoning and a popping texture that goes on top. I'll be honest and say that I always think caviar is a bit overrated every time I've had it, but this dish wasn't bad. Next is Magari, a pasta restaurant in Bristol which currently has 4.8 stars on Google reviews. We had their ragu pasta, which was simple but lovely, a meat-based sauce with parmesan shaved over the top. The pasta was super well cooked and you can taste the bounciness and springiness. They make their pasta in-house and it's definitely a far cry from the dried pasta that you would buy from the supermarket. The sauce fell into the background a bit because no matter what sauce you put on here, the pasta was always going to be the star. Another restaurant here is Caper and Cure. I did confirm with them that this was their first ever food festival, and I'm definitely hoping that it won't be their last. 4.9 stars on Google reviews, and I do understand why. We got their octopus hot dog and crab cakes. Their crab cakes were definitely well fried and tasty, although I would have preferred a bit of sauce to go with it. However, their octopus hot dog blew our minds. I've had octopus before, but it was one of those times when you try an ingredient you've had many times before, but you think, I didn't know it can taste like that when it's been cooked by someone who really knows what they're doing. Octopus so easily becomes tough and chewy, but it wasn't that at all. The octopus was so tender and almost buttery in its texture. Paired with the aioli sauce and the soft bun, it was just absolute perfection. It is no wonder that Caper and Cure's main restaurant was featured in the Good Food Guide as one of Britain's 100 best local restaurants in 2023. I'm definitely wanting to make a booking now. The next restaurant trying their hand at street food was Snobby's. 4.7 stars on Google reviews, and they serve up Italian dishes. We had their burrata, which was served with red pepper, an olive caponata, which is like a Sicilian roasted veggie dish, mint and basil. Oh my gosh, you guys, the burrata was amazing. This dish was exactly what I needed after all the heavy foods I had been eating all day. If you've never had burrata before, it's an Italian cow's milk cheese made from mozzarella and cream. The name burrata means buttered in Italian, which hints at the buttery flavor and texture, a balance between the delicate taste of fresh milk with a luscious melt-in-your-mouth quality. When we saw duck confit Scotch eggs on the menu from the Bank Tavern, we couldn't resist. They also have a permanent base that serves up elevated pup grub. This was a really enjoyable dish, and I absolutely loved the jammy yolk here. Confit duck is basically slow roasted duck legs, super tender meat with a rich, deep flavor of duck. As an American bagel lover, I had to hit up Bishopton Bagels. They don't actually have a permanent restaurant, but do provide catering services around Bristol. We got 2 of their bagels as we couldn't decide between them. You get to choose between a plain bagel, poppy seed, sesame, or everything. For our salmon lox bagel, we got it on poppy seed. Generous portions of smoked salmon from Valley Smokehouse, whipped dill cream cheese, capers, slices of avocado, and a drizzle of lemon. Generous portions, well-balanced flavors, and super creamy. This was simple but a massive winner for me. Our second bagel was pastrami, which came with a Gouda-style cheese, sauerkraut, American mustard, mayonnaise, and some greens on top. Once again, amazing flavors. The melted Gouda cheese over the spiced pastrami, and the mustard and sauerkraut to cut through the richness, absolutely perfect. Our final savory of the day was Pizza is Lovely, which can be found permanently serving their pizzas at Renato's Bar and Restaurant in Bristol. They brought their Detroit-style pizza to feast on, and we went with a classic margherita with basil and cheese. If you haven't watched my video on Detroit-style pizza from the Towpath Inn, please check it out. I go into a lot of historical detail about what Detroit-style pizza is that I won't go into here, but the main takeaways are that you have a thick, fluffy base and a cheese crust along the side. Pizza is Lovely's take on Detroit pizza is good with a very fluffy dough and a nice margarita sauce with plenty of depth of flavor. Okay, Savouries done. There were so many delicious things that we ate, but my number 1 recommendation would have to be Caper and Cure. I left super inspired to make a booking for their main restaurant because that octopus hot dog changed my perspective on what octopus can taste like. With that done, let's move on to the sweets. I normally just give 1 top recommendation, but I'll be honest, I could not decide between these 2 spots, which were some of the best desserts and pastries I've ever had in my life. First up is Toots, which does have its own permanent bakery. A beautiful selection of things here, and it was so difficult to decide between everything and not just get 1 of each. I love a cream tea, so that was one of the things we got. Their scone was really uniquely flavored. Toasted pumpkin seeds with thyme, which was incredibly fragrant and paired so well with the clotted cream and jam. We also went with their banana loaf that was topped with a cream cheese frosting, salted caramel, and salted popcorn. This was also outstanding and surprisingly not too sweet. Finally, we had their chocolate chip cookie that also had ready salted crisps, well baked and a genius combination. The next dessert spot was Pip & Co., which served up the best donuts I've ever had. The key thing about all of Pip & Co.'s donuts were that they weren't too sweet at all, which is usually my biggest gripe about donuts. The flavors here were so well balanced and unique as well. Firstly, we had their white chocolate and hazelnut cruffin, which was a croissant muffin. The cream was a mix of white chocolate and hazelnut, and it basically tasted like a lighter Nutella, which was perfect because I feel that usually just pure Nutella gets too heavy and moreish for me, but I couldn't resist every bite here. Next was their Earl Grey tea and orange donut, which was an excellent flavor combination. Finally, we went with their traditional vanilla cream donut, which was, like their other pastries, super fluffy and well baked. The vanilla was not overwhelmingly sweet and super creamy as well. I couldn't fault either of these bakeries, and so happy that they both have permanent locations so I can visit whenever I get another craving again. There are so many other places at this festival that I didn't get a chance to eat at just from hitting the food wall, but this is definitely one to go on my food festival calendar. I do hope that it'll be an annual event from now on, as it is so unique in the way it showcases some of Bristol's top restaurants all in one location. So, have you tried any of these vendors before? Let me know in the comments what you think. And if you haven't tried them before, which one appeals to you the most? Remember, if you enjoyed this video and found it informative, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. I'd really appreciate the support, and I'm excited to share with you where I eat next. Until next time!